Hi everyone, I'm Clint Rice. This is the second episode of the Job Search Project series. My second week at job searching, still looking. It's a tough market. Many of you are out there looking too. So I wanted to have another session where I can maybe give you a little bit of my perspective. I hope it's helpful to you, some things that I've learned. Today I've got 10 resume tips that I want to give you. But before I get to the resume tips, I just wanted to share one thing which I think is a very useful tool. So LinkedIn has a premium subscription, which is free for 30 days. If you sign up for it, there's no billing. For the first 30 days, it will automatically renew and start billing you. So if you want to cancel it and avoid charges, make sure to cancel before the 30-day period. Read all the fine print and type, make sure it's what you want, but I've done it, and it's got some pretty useful tools that I would suggest adding into your collection of tools. So, okay, all right, resumes. The objective of your resume, the primary objective, is to get you from the big, ginormous stack, 100, plus, thousands maybe even, of candidates, into the small, tiny stack. So what are you going to put in your resume that will make you visible, that will illustrate to demonstrate to people that they can work with you, that they would want to work with you, and that you have the right skills for the job? Yeah. So so that's tip one. Tip number two: make sure that your resume is no more than 2 pages. You got to keep it 2 pages or less. That's it. It doesn't matter how much experience you have. Nobody has the will to read multiple pages. And when we're considering there's so many resumes that come in for positions, you got to cut to the chase. Yeah. So 2 pages at most. A couple of things you can do to help reduce that is focus on the more recent experience, and then put something in there that says, more experience available upon request, just like you might do for a reference, right? Okay, so that's tip 2. Tip 3, think of your resume as a flyer. Yeah, it's an advertisement. It's meant to help you get the first conversation. So in addition to getting you in the small stack, when someone reads it, they're like, I want to talk to this guy, or I want to talk to this gal. And that's it. Use it to get to your first conversation. That's tip 3. Tip 4 is don't think of your resume as a journal for your work history. Again, you got to keep it condensed. It's important to keep a journal, to keep track of things that are successes and things that you've done over the course of your history. But honestly, don't make somebody suffer through reading it on your resume when they're just trying to figure out, is this person a good match? That stuff will come out in the interview process, or it could be in supplemental documents on follow-up conversations. Okay, so that's tip 4. It's not a journal. Tip number 5, write your resume in third person with regard to all your experience. I've recently learned this. My resume was written in first person. I've had a bunch of people tell me, read it or rewrite it in third person. And I've seen a lot of resumes like this of late in third person. So I think that's another tip to do. Tip number 6, don't include photos. Yeah, so I've learned that resume systems can reject resumes if they include images. Yeah, it might not be able to process them, or maybe it just doesn't know what it is, and so it rejects it, or it doesn't process it correctly. So for the purpose of resume systems, don't include an image. Yeah, and if you're beautiful and if you want to lead with that, if you're an attractive guy or an attractive gal, okay. But focus on the important stuff, the content. What are you going to do? Yeah, and for those of us that are normal, like average looking, stay away from the photos, right? Like let your experience be the thing that you lead with, and your perspective. Tip number 7, make sure all of your experience is written in the past, because literally all of your experience by definition is in the past. The only thing that should be written in present tense are current responsibilities that you still have and maintain. So that's tip 7. Tip number 8, push all of your education to the back end unless it's recent, right? So recent certificates or recent degrees, those could be closer to the front, but if it's 5 years ago or more, move it to the back. Yeah, all right. Tip number 9, keep your work experience focused on the 5 to 10 year range. Yeah, closer to 10 if you've got it. If you go beyond 10, you can make that available through a supplemental document, maybe a link to your LinkedIn profile that has things beyond 10 years. But employers are really going to be focused on the more narrow window, not the things that go 15, 20, 30, 40 years, however much experience you have. So narrow window, 5 to 10 years. Yeah. Or if less than that. Also, if less than 5 years experience, really, you should probably be able to fit everything on 1 page for your resume instead of 2. Okay, last tip. This one's around LinkedIn. So just make sure that LinkedIn and your resume are aligned, that they're consistent. So, dates, experience. You can be more verbose on LinkedIn because you got more real estate. It's a full page, but just make sure there's harmony between what you have on LinkedIn and what you have in your resume. Okay, so that's it. The objective, get you from the large ginormo stack to the small stack, less than 2 pages or equal to 2 pages. Think of it as a flyer and an advert. It's not an entire journal of your work history. Write it in third person. Don't include photos. Put all your experience in the past tense, current responsibilities in the present tense. Push your education to the back unless it's recent. And your work experience should be focused on the last 5 to 10 years, in that range. And make sure LinkedIn and your resume are lined up. Let me check my notes. Is that everything? That's everything. Okay, well, good luck everybody out there that's searching for a job. If there's anything I can do personally to help, feel free to reach out to me. You guys can do this.